So the Bitcoin ETF, with all the hype, has just been announced and it's been approved. And this is the beginning of something massive for cryptocurrency. If you go on Twitter right now, you'll see on the right hand side that this is what's trending at the moment, Bitcoin. And everybody is having a problem with Jim Cramer because usually whatever he says, the opposite basically happens. So what does this mean in terms of the price of Bitcoin? And more importantly, all of the altcoins? That's what we're going to discuss today. And we're going to have a look at the initial moves we've seen. So you would have seen me mention in my last video on altcoins recently that I thought the little move up was worth trading early on, only if you're a trader though, because obviously there's a lot of volatility in the market and things move very quickly. And I'm having a look at AVAX because it has a very, very nice chart setup in general. Nice impulsive moves, nice corrections, nice simple kind of V-top. And since it's moved down, it's got a nice down sloping trend line, which we've broken out of. So what do we want to see for that to have been an important low and the beginning of something? So something started right here. What do we want to see? So it's a great start. We had a move 1 and a 2 up. What I don't want to see here is this turn out to be a 3-wave correction. And usually what I'm looking for with something like Avalanche is a 1-to-1 ratio here. So something just under 40, 39.95. I don't want price to just stop here and just be done, because that would mean it was just a 3-wave correction up and then we're setting up for another leg down. Now you might be thinking, why would we be going down if it's Bitcoin ETF approval? Because the news never mattered. It's all about the charts and it's about what people are doing in terms of buying and selling. And remember, the hype for the ETF was around for a long, long time, as I keep mentioning on my videos. So you have to be very careful with that. I'm not being bullish or bearish intentionally because I'm not taking a side. I'm just trading what I see on the chart. And since the announcement, Bitcoin's barely moved. We had that initial spike up yesterday to just under 48. We've got a lower high from there, and we're just waiting now to see what happens. And all of these long wicks you're seeing is just indecision in the markets and confusion, and obviously a little bit of manipulation as well. So we're back in this kind of trading range. What we don't want to see now after such an important news event is this kind of dithering and struggling and then kind of heading towards the lows of this range. You don't want to see that after this significant a move. The other thing you don't want to see is it just breaks out tomorrow, a bit of a fake pump up to 49 or 50, and then do the same thing, jump back into the trading range and then dither and move down. You don't want to see that because the altcoins are not going to have a good time then. So we talked about AVAX already. And the other thing you want to look at, if we are moving upwards, which I hope we are, but there's no guarantees, and I'm ready either way. Things like Solana, AVAX, Ethereum, how are they moving in relation to this news? Solana has been very weak. It was only up a few percent earlier, and it's struggling. So it got past this high, and now it's struggling. And now you just wonder if this 3-wave move, is it all just a correction that's now done at the 618 level, or do we have more to come? We've got the downward sloping trend line as well. So it's something you have to watch out for. And the other thing to watch out for is, yes, the trend line's there, and we might get a little move again, but then do we quickly sell off? Do we have a fake out and then do we sell off? So I'm still concerned with Solana, and I don't think it's clear yet that we've definitely seen an end of this correction either. So just be very careful with that one. That's a weaker one at the moment. Ethereum had a better day, and maybe the narrative is now that Bitcoin's ETF is approved, Ethereum's is the next one. That's what everybody's going to say. So for the first time in a long time, Ethereum's actually made a few percent, like 6-7%. Still don't think it's a good investment at all. Like if you're here in cryptocurrency with altcoins messing around with 6% or 7%, then you're not going to get very far, especially due to all of the risk involved with cryptocurrencies. But anyway, we've had a little bit of a pump. Let's see what happens. We tag the 2500 level. If we zoom out to a daily chart, you'll see that this is for the year anyway. Let's go. Yeah, for the year, it's an all-time high. So it's a significant high for Ethereum. Now, hopefully it's the start of things, but you always have to be mindful and worried that that could be the end of things too. We could have just quickly spiked, marked a top, and we're just going to sell off now slowly. I'm not saying that will happen. I'm just saying that's how my mind thinks. My mind thinks of every scenario, and then I think, what has to happen in terms of the volume and the chart patterns? What do I have to see for that to happen, just in case it does happen? If we get a bit of a slight sell-off, we get support here at the 2450 level, and then we move up, that's great. Very, very bullish then. And then we can start attacking 3000 and beyond, probably very slowly. I've never liked Ethereum's chart from the lows here June. I've said that many, many times in my videos just because it's overlappy and corrective. I don't like that because very likely it's going to carry on like that and it's going to take months to just get a couple, a little 25, 30%. It's going to take months. Whereas something like Solana or AVAX will do that in a day. Just saying. But anyway, what other ones are we going to have a look at? So the other interesting thing I saw, again, I'm just always on the charts here, is things like, the old Metverse ones like Sand and stuff like that, which I've said before in my videos, I wouldn't go anywhere near because I don't think they're going to move anywhere near as much as some of the other coins. But what I noticed is after the news, they kind of corrected a bit as well. So everything kind of caught up. So it looked like the market wanted everything to just catch up at 10%. So actually Sand yesterday was technically up 10%, which doesn't mean anything in the grand scheme of things, but it's interesting that at the moment, it's not picked a clear winner. If we are indeed going up, which we're not sure about yet, this could all be just a counter trend. What do I mean by counter trend? Well, from here, it's a downtrend. And even in a downtrend, we get counter trend moves up, sometimes even dead cat bounces up, and then we get sold off again. We don't know yet if that's what's going on. But it was interesting that everything was playing catch up. Everything was up 10%, and pretty much across the board, even XRP was up kind of like 5%. So everything got a bit of a bump up, but it's not clear at the moment. And that's why I'm watching the chart today. You should have a watch list like this too. In the next 24 hours, if we keep moving up, because even things like Fetch, GRT, the graph, they were all up exactly 10%. It was almost like it was programmed that everything goes up just 10%, and then that's all you get for waiting all year for a Bitcoin approval. Anyway, this chart is Fetch. Now this on a shorter time frame, you'll see, again, it's a nice move up off the lows. And this was another one I mentioned recently that I'm involved in because we've had a nice move up. But again, we're at that trend level. We need a lot of volume. We need a lot of support. Is this the beginning of something? It's hard to say at the moment. This could all, again, just be a little correction, fake out, and then we dump. That's what I'm always looking at. They're always mindful of. The other way is we get a move up. We may get a little move down, get support back here on this 69.40 level where we were before, and then we push up to the moon. That's what we want. And if any of these altcoins that you see are breaking out like that, especially these ones that have been in longer correction, look for the ones that break out first. Look for the ones that are stronger. But also, this will almost be confirmation that everything is going to be dragged up. And that's where in the first few days, I would probably go after I would chase some of the ones that are a little bit weaker at the beginning. But then very quickly, this would be, let's say, the week 1. This is my week 1 plan. And then week 2 plan, here's what I would do. And my week 2 plan, assuming, by the way, week 1 or week 2 doesn't happen. If we're moving down, then I'm out on the sidelines. I'm keeping an eye on it and I'm just waiting. May even do a few shorts as well whilst I'm here. But anyway, I'm just waiting. I'm spending more time on meme coins and NFTs if we're moving down because we may see liquidity push over there. But anyway, assuming we're moving up, maybe there's a slightly more than a coin flip chance we're moving up, maybe 60%, 40%, we're still going to move down further. So let's say 60%. Week 1, I'm just chasing the ones that are lagging a little bit. Week 2, it's narratives, narrative plays. So I'm going to see then for quarter 1, what are people caring about? What's the next big shiny thing? Is it SEI? Is it still injective? People board of that back to Avalanche now, board of that back to Ethereum, and everything related to Ethereum. All the smaller caps related to Ethereum. Is that where everything's going? That's all I care about. And as soon as I see some of those smaller coins break out, those are the narrative plays I'm going to follow. And you will be the first to hear about that here on my channel. So don't forget to subscribe, like the video if you're enjoying the content. By the way, some of that I'm sharing on my Twitter profile as well. So make sure you follow there too at Sajad Flips. I'll link that in the description below. Thanks for listening.